Today is Beis Nisan. It sounds like something very far off. This morning, together with Minatzchim, we had exactly a minyan. And who was one of the Yidden there? Dr. Gutkin, who is Yom Haledes 103, Kanai Hada, is coming up in a few weeks. When Rabbi Lang said that today is the Lulav, the Rebbe Nishmas in 1920, he says, I was getting ready for my upshur. So we have with us Baruch Hashem Chassidim and Yidden from that time. In the Sikha of Yud Beis Tammuz, Tavshin Mem Beis, the Rebbe said over the famous story a number of occasions, but that was one of the times about the Rebbe Nishmas Yidden when there was the Asifa Sarabonim, where they got together and they wanted to know the decrees against the chinuch of the Yidden, of the Kindlech, and so on and so forth. The government wanted to control it. And they tried, and he spoke very, very harshly to the extent that he was arrested, as the Rebbe says. But because of the COVID, they arrested him in his own hotel room and they put a guard in front. And eventually they saw that wasn't going to be effective. They left. And some of the other G'daylim, one of the representatives went in and he told the Rebbe Rashab, we did everything. You're sitting, you're crying. We did everything. So that's it. Why are you crying? Why are you feeling down? We tried our best. And the Rebbe Nishmas famously said, it wasn't accomplished. So we're not going to rest. We're not happy. We're not satisfied. I think this is a great approach that we should have when it comes to Mashiach. It's not just enough to say, I did my thing. We announced it. We speak about it. We give a bracha for it at our Kiddush and on our shul. On Shabbos, L'chaim, we should have Mashiach. And now we did our thing in Vayte Gefar. In fact, it reminded me of a very powerful sikha that I'd like to share, just as a short Inyan Gula Mashiach, and then we'll go on with our presenters today. This is from Shabbos HaGadol, which is coming up, Shabbos HaGadol, Parshas Tzav, and Tavshin Mem Hey. And there the Rebbe is discussing the Nisim, and specifically that was the Bayem Hashmini. And the Rebbe mentions that when we speak about Mashiach, we think of doing it in a way, a more normal kind of a way. So the Rebbe gives an example of when you meet somebody. So the first thing you're going to do is say, Shalom Aleichem, and how's your wife, and how are your children, and how's business, v'chulu. The Rebbe uses the Lashon Stateshna. And in English, how do you do? But then, the Rebbe says the right approach is, as soon as you see the person, before even Shalom Aleichem, you say, Mashiach now. And the person's going to be thrown off, because they think you look normal and you talk normal. But you're mentioning Mashiach now, right away, before even a whole conversation. And fakir, that itself is what's going to have the greatest effect. And the Rebbe then goes on to say a story without mentioning a name, but we know that the story happened with Rabbi Moshe Feller, Zol Gesundsein, where he was with a very important person in the office, and he was looking down in his book, and he was a very smart man that Rebbe mentions. We're talking about Professor Green, Olav Hashalom. And this shliach that Rebbe says is davening because the sun was going down. He had to daven mincha, the famous story. So here the Rebbe says the story that this guy at first was shocked, taken aback, but fakert. Not only did it have an effect on him, and he became a shemer Torah mitzvahs, but the Rebbe says there that he affected hundreds and even thousands of others to come closer to Torah mitzvahs, referring to Dr. Green. And all of this as a result of the shliach taking this type of approach. And the Rebbe says the same thing. When you meet a fellow Yid, you start off l'chatchila by saying, Mashiach now. Now I'll give you Shalom Aleichem. And how are you? How do you do? V'chulu v'chulu. So this is a good approach. And on Beis Nisan, we take the Rebbe Rashab's approach of we shouldn't just be comfortable saying that we think about Mashiach, we talk about Mashiach, we finish off our weekly emails with prayers for the coming of redemption. I'm speaking to myself, of course. But l'chatchila, right away, we should push it front and center. And let's hope and pray that just talking about it is already going to give us the to take a kachzech Mashiach and to make our communities and everybody that we could reach excited about it, l'chatchila, not just as a PS. And we should have right now in the beginning of this Zoom, not at the end, but in the beginning, we should have the scholars of Melech HaMashiach, the Gula Mitzvah Shlema Tekel from Miyad Mamash. We would like to call upon Arav Menachem Mendel Lipsker, Shliach in Sherman Oaks, and a very well-known mashpia and teacher of Chassidus and Chassan classes, v'chulu, to please share with us some words of inspiration on this beautiful Beis Nisan. Arav Lipsker.
Good morning, good afternoon. Can you hear me? I'm having some reception issues. Makan had him?
So far, yes.
Oh, okay, good. Good. Shalom Aleichem, the wonderful group. To those who I see, those who I can't see, is my honor to be invited here. Today is Beis Nissan, and more than that, 33 years ago was the famous Sikha of Beis Nissan Tavshim Mem Ches, the Sikha of Yechi HaMelech. This is 33 years, and that's a big Admosai already, way longer than anyone would ever imagined, and Medafa bestandigen them. The Beis Nissan is Ich gehe in Himmel and the Ksavim Lazachayich, and of course the Rebbe's famous Sichos about what that means. And for us, our Avodah, for us, for our families, for alle Yidden, for alle Goyim, as Geshem Mendel used to say, he used to describe in great detail about how from 770 bis Nostrand Avenue and Franklin Avenue and Utica Avenue and Kumen all Goyim from alle Medinas, and if we're lucky, we'll be able to push through. But definitely our message to the world and our message to ourselves, and not only message, but more modeling. I'm all like Mazagan, there's a good way to teach by modeling, by role modeling. Today, it's Mustama, the way to teach, or the best way to teach, maybe the only way to teach, by being alone, a dugma chaya. As the Rebbe once answered to a kvutza of shluchim that went to Miami, Florida, I think. They asked the Rebbe for a bracha, and the Rebbe said, I think it was written, that you have to be a dugma for what you want to teach. And Shain, das. So when it comes to Inyan Gula Mashiach, or Leben mit Mashiach, or whatever this group is needs to be, Pashat Faru, and it has to be in a very real, tangible way. In other words, Taken today's Chitas and Tanya talks about Hirulav Kedibur Dami. It's not enough to have Kavana. We actually have to have Maisa. It has to be the act, Medafreden. You can't just think about it, you have to talk about it, and you can't just talk about it, you have to actually do it. In this Inyan, but there's also a big part that has to be, you gotta mean it. Like in Chumash, Benefesh ki sakriv. Benefesh ki sakriv. As stated in Rashi, the ani is makriv his nefesh. In other words, in the Sikha of Chavchas Nissen, gemeint mit anemes. It's not just many things you can do. A mitzvah you can do. You got to put on film. Who cares what you think, what you mean? And the Rebbe said over here also, Red mit Nachid wegen Mashiach. You're not ready. Big deal. Yener meint es mit anemes. As my grandfather Vashalom wrote in his Tzavah, that he doesn't know mit Vosras Chusim Kumt Elamayla, because every single mitzvah, every single taita, every single thing he did, he had a pniyah in his stomach. But the people who he affected, they mean in Zicher mitanemes. Even though we don't mean mitanemes, they mean mitanemes. But over here, the Rebbe said clearly, Geshri mitanemes and gemeint mitanemes. The Tzaika of Yechi HaMelech, which is Admasai, has to be genuine and sincere. It doesn't mean that's halten by them 100%, but you have to mean it. Some all the people here are men on this group. Like when you give a compliment to your wife, it has to be genuine. The halts by them 100%. You should get the message properly. You have to say it genuinely. The same thing over here. Halt by them. And the real madrega and the emesa madrega. That's one way to look at it. The main thing is, as it should be genuine. It should be for real. It should translate in a very real way. And we, each of us, can find a way. Either we should be excited about it like we're excited about other things. We all get excited about certain things. This, us, material zach. And this Indian has to be exciting. In other words, you can see, you identify a Lubavitch when the you're passionate. The Mashiach comes. Now there's a new passion. The fire went on. Someone said that, the Abschlagen am Snagid. Now I'm on fire. The same you can see by us when it's real to us and our family is not just Mashiach, whatever the concept is, that it's mitanemes. It's not just minasafa lechutz. It gets passionate. So that's one dogma. You can look at yourself. It's a bchina. It's a mivchan. Vu mahalt, that other people can see that it meant us mitanemes, like the Maisa. They say with the kid that went to the cheder and he was by the Rebbe, and he heard the Rebbe talk about Mashiach, and the teacher said, "No, everyone spoke about Mashiach." The kids, he meant it for real. That has to be by us, that it's real. It's not just a concept or something that we believe in or we want. Very nice, yeah, very nice. I want a lot of things, but it's something which that's a bechina which you can see by us. Your kids, your wife, your community, people know. When you're excited about something and passionate about something, it comes across in a whole different way. Another thing which is negeya b'avidaseinu, yada zach dach mit acharabringen, ma'aser b'toil, or there's macrocosm and microcosm. The greater dir b'tachtenim and the kleiner dir b'tachtenim. There's the dir b'tachtenim from the ganze Welt and the dir b'tachtenim in our own homes. The concept of Mashiach, no matter which way you look at it, the reality of Geula is Achdus. The reality of Geula is the Sakin Eilam is Achdus, is one. In science, the theory of one. In Yiddishkeit, Achdus Havaya, Yichud Ilah, Yichud Tata, whichever way you spin it, whichever way you look at it, it's always the Aleph. It's about the Aleph, it's about the Echad, it's about the Achdus, it's about Verenigkeit, come together into one Achdus Mamash. That's how it is. And that we have to bring about in ourselves. Everyone has their own little space where we can improve in it. Give me a split second. Excuse me, sorry, I have a reception issue. Ich stehe beim Tier. Mashiach steht gleich unter dem Tier, darf öffnen den Tier und ihn einlassen. We live in a world. I'm sorry that it's my awareness of was can ich tun within the world, and everyone knows Hashluchas, and the world at large, the Jewish world, and the Eigene Welt, even in the families. There's a big, I don't know if it's any sign, a challenge, a reality. It's a reality that when we speak to people or we try to help people, there is a common denominator that people feel very alone, very lonely, and even worse, very alone. Who knows why? I don't know why. Everyone can analyze and say whatever they want. But Lapayel, that's what we're getting. It's like a when there was the whole Maisa with the reformed gear and different things like that, the Rebbe gesagt a word, the Yichida Shebenefesh, but Yichida Shebenefesh can be mekanis fadrein. Like the reformed Jew was like Shrayan, my son-in-law is not Jewish. You're telling me my son-in-law is not Jewish because he converted the reformer says, Zan Yichida Shebenefesh shreit Yiddishkeit, because you're offending his Yiddishkeit, but fadreit is in the wrong way that he wants you to accept his son-in-law as Jewish. So Achdus, everything is one. So B'meila, some people take it as everyone is alone. It's a backwards way, and this is a Brenta fire in a very big way. And there's so many challenges today are brought down. It comes to a big mania to help people as Alain. Z is Alain. Lonely, not feeling emotionally connected, not feeling fulfilled, not feeling this, not feeling that, and it's mamish. Of course, it's chassidus. The ganz chassidus is Mashiach. Of course, pay attention, see my slave. It's not avoida gedoilihi. It's not avoida gedoilihi. It's pashet areis krichen von sich. Areis krichen von sich. In the Purim Tavshin Yidalef. Areis krichen von sich. That's what it's about. Mashiach is about areis krichen von sich. Yolos Yitzias Mitzrayim. Zeget Pesach. In a practical level, you have to teach the people that Mashiach is real, and you have to teach the people that Rebbe is in Yanim, that people will appreciate and connect, and then Mekushin and Chassidim, and will realize that the Rebbe is Melech HaMashiach, and the Rebbe is also Shik and the Gula Shlema now. we have to facilitate it in our small way. This is only Zankin theory. If it's in theory by us, in theory, there's no difference between theory and practical. In practical, there's a chiluk between theory and practical. L'chaim, they should all geben a tug of beis nissen. We should be able to connect to each other, to connect to ourselves, our spouses, our families, our siblings, our communities. Chassidei Chabad, Klal Yisrael. This is the sibas hagolos. This takes away the golos by default, and we need a tosefah. The Satan hat sich reingehackt as a hackerein of not piru da machlokes, man redt nicht wegen dem, man redt wegen passion, lack of connection. Und wegen dem darf man mahader sein. This is my passion, and I hope I can affect one or two people. And this is takeb to bring Mashiach in a real way, to realize as ein eid mulvade. L'chaim brider, I'm going to stay on. Zol zayin Mashiach now, hayoy mamish.
Amen. Yashikar Mendel for the Hartziker aid. We see Taka, you standing right by the door. You're ready to leave. You're ready for Mashiach. May Taka happen while you're there at the door. We have the honor now of hearing from Rabbi Zalman Marcus, Rebbe's Shliach to Mission Viejo. California is strong today on this group, Baruch Hashem. Always strong with Mashiach. But now we see it. Rabbi Zalman.
Thank you, Reb Dov. Your energy is fantastic, and you make everybody jealous with all your tefillin selfies that you put on the WhatsApp group with tefillin. You make us all feel bad that we're not as successful as you are. So Baruch Hashem, you keep us on our toes. And thank you to Rabbi Mendy, my brother-in-law, for your passion and for not just having passion and not just talking about it, but doing something about it to make this happen. Unbelievable. And thank you to Rabbi Mendelivsker, my classmate. I don't know, you guys didn't plan this, but I didn't know what Mendel was going to talk about. And Punkt, I have the same. I'm going to continue where he left off. So I'll try to frame it a little differently, but it's really, really fascinating. Also, the fact that Mendel, you were standing by the door. That when Sarah got the bracha to that she was going to have a baby, she was standing Pesach Ha'oyel, and when Isha Shunamis gets it, she's also standing in the doorway. So Mamish, the whole time you were saying it, I'm like, okay, no, the baby's gonna come. No, the Mashiach is the baby coming. So you're standing in the doorway. No, the bracha should come in already. This would be this is the day. Beis Nissen. This is the day. Kala Yetzel Mechames Beis David. This is Beis David. This is Mashiach. It's all about bringing it home. So first of all, thank you for inviting me to speak here. I am certainly hoping that this is going to inspire me more, and that's what I'm hoping this will accomplish for me. And if I can inspire anybody else in the process, I see some really inspiring people on here. So it's a little humbling to be speaking to some people who literally they're unbelievable. But here we are. We're all here to inspire each other, and hopefully do. So interestingly, quite a few years ago, myself and Rabbi Levi Kunin Chabad of Malibu, we got together and we decided to create a group of akshanim. We called it akshanim. It was a group of shluchim. We wanted 10 shluchim who were going to commit to being an akshan. Basically, the Rebbe wanted that Chavchas Nissen happened, and the Rebbe dropped that on us. And how could you just sit back and just not do something about it? And it just bothered me terribly, and and I guess bothered Levi as well. And together we decided, let's make an akshanim group. Actually, Yossi Lu, who we said should have for Shlema, he's just in the Malka. He was one of the original 10 who came on, and the idea was, not just to come together and to talk about Mashiach and to inspire each other, but to actually be action oriented and to get things done. And so one of the things that we worked on was to put Mashiach, first of all, to get rid of that stigma attached to the M word, to the Mashiach word, that people shouldn't be afraid of it, and people should realize that there are shluchim who actually are excited about it. Because when we started back then, Mamish was like it was like taboo. Okay, you can't mention it, you can't talk about it, and again, different reasons for it. And so we wanted to make sure that on the Kinnis Shluchim there was going to be one of the major sessions. It would be it would be an idea of Mashiach, and so we helped facilitate that, and other things that we did. Again, I'm not trying to toot any horn over here. I'm just trying to say that this is what it's kind of a vision for this group, that you have all these people on here. Let's we got to turn this into action. It's not like, okay, I signed up. I was on a call for 30 minutes. I was on Mendy Rubenfeld and this Minatzchim thing. Again, it's not you, Mendy, I know, but you're the one who's sending it out and making it happen. So and it's like, this is good. It's very nice, but this is not about. There's the gavra and there's the chefza. There's the gavra. Did I do something today for Mashiach? So I could say that Aniyas Nafshi itself. I did my thing for Mashiach today, or is it chefza? Mashiach has to come. We have to make this thing happen. How are we going to make it happen? And we got to do everything we can. So one of the first things that we realized that we bumped into was that although we all agree that Mashiach is top priority, and this is definitely the Rebbe's top priority, and it's like everything is laheva v'larik. If you don't bring Mashiach, it's laheva v'larik. That's it. It's not like there's no other accomplishments, no patting yourself on the back. There's nothing. It's either this or a bust. That's what the Rebbe basically told us. And so the question, everybody agrees on that. I mean, I don't think any Lubavitcher who has any issue with that. And if they do, they need to talk to their mashpia and so on. The question everybody had was, okay, so how do you do this? Like what's the action? What do you need to do? And for this, we have so many different ideas. Everybody's got their idea of how this is supposed to happen. We've spent for years and years, literally years, trying to nail this. And I believe there was an effort done where they spoke to mashpiyim and they spoke to different people, different thinkers, to try to come up with some way of understanding what we're supposed to do. I don't know where it's up to. It needs to see the light of day somehow. But the idea of that this group should be not just a gavra where everybody feels like I participated in something, but everybody should take on the responsibility and figure out how we can move this forward. So exactly what we do and how we should do it, again, everybody has their own ideas, and we've seen many beautiful ideas already on here, which are so inspiring. And that's the idea of coordinating here and just kind of getting a group of people. Each group should focus on one thing that they're passionate about. So, for example, Rabbi Duba from England shared about his Shem Misses campaign. I mean, again, the Rebbe said so many things about Mashiach, and he said about the idea of Shem Misses, certainly a part of it. Exactly how, where, when, it's definitely a part of it, no question about it. And there are some people who are very, very passionate about it. All those people should be gathered together, and let's make this happen so that 7 billion people on the planet or plus are become aware of this of the Shem Misses campaign. There are those who believe that it's important to do other things to bring Mashiach. Okay. Go get that group together and go. We're not going to judge other people. We're not going to say this is right, this is wrong, whatever. We can't. It's about achdus, it's about everybody going in their kav and doing what they need to do. And so one of the things that I'm quite passionate about, and this is why I'm going to share it, and I guess Rabbi Mendel Lipsker also very, very passionate about it, and that is that everything really. If you think about it, Chassidus, all of Chassidus is really Mashiach, and I think that we had a speaker who actually shared how the Rebbe says that everything in Torah is really Mashiach, and so when we say learn in Yonei Geulah Mashiach, so I think that it gets narrowed to you have to learn literally. If it doesn't say the word Mashiach in it, then it doesn't count as Yonei Geulah Mashiach. But I think if we understand what really Mashiach is, then every single Maimer Chassidus you're going to learn, anything to do with the Rebbe, is Mashiach. If you're not seeing Mashiach in it, then that's a problem. So you should really be seeing it and seeing how it really comes together. So, which is just an interesting thought. I'm just going to throw it out there. I know I only have 2 minutes left, and I have so much to say, but we'll try to squeeze it in here. And that is, it's very interesting that the Rebbe said that the Derech HaYashar is through learning in Yonei Gula Mashiach. The Rebbe was always Maisu Vikar, and then what's the Maisa for Mashiach? It's learning. It's like, that seems like a switch here. So whatever, I'm just throwing it out there. I want to, just to tease everyone with just to think about it. Like what's the thing? I have my own thoughts on it as to what that might be. But once you start living Mashiach, once you start thinking Mashiach, breathing Mashiach, and that's because everything you're incorporating, you're making that all a part of this. And so Mashiach isn't just a single aspect. It's one of the 13 principles of faith. No, it is the foundation of everything. It's the fulfillment of everything. You see it everywhere. It becomes your life and so on. And therefore, every single part of life also becomes a part of that. And that's kind of what Mendel Lipsker was saying before, is that Mashiach can't be divorced from your reality. It can't be divorced from your family. It can't be divorced from mental health. Okay, if we're having a mental health breakdown in our communities and so on, or if we're not having a success with our own kindlech, the Rebbe would say, "Binareinu, Biskeinu, Bivaneinu, Bivneseinu, Nelech." We're going with everybody. We're not leaving anybody behind. What does it mean to leave somebody behind? It means that you're excited about something, you're passionate about something, and they're not. And they're feeling left out, and they're feeling abandoned, they're feeling not heard, they're feeling not connected. And so to me, this is a way of testing your Mashiach passion. If your Mashiach passion is going in the right direction, then really it should be incorporated in the rest of your life, and the rest of your life all comes together. So again, I'm not talking to you, the shliach, because Baruch Hashem, you're hopefully doing great and so on. But that's the expression of it. The expression of it is not just for us; it's for everyone we come in contact with. But first of all, for ourselves, to make sure that we're all put together, we're all the achdus, that all of us is working in a Mashiach way. We're doing all the things we need to do. We're acting the way we do. We're in tune with the people we need to be in tune with, and that's the thing that we project out to those that are around us. So again, there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to run over time here, so I'll just stop in the middle.
Yashikayach Reb Zalman. I believe the official program is that it ends at I guess it's 2 p.m. 770 time, a half hour into, but then the Farbrengen continues. So I'm sure, Reb Zalman, if you want to continue Farbrengen, we're all ears. Having said that, we'll conclude with what's very famous, even in the Gemara. Today is already Beis Nisan, so we're a day late. We should have already now, before we finish the Zoom, the Gula Mitzvah Shlema. Rebbe should take us out of Galus. Taka Yichia Melech and Taka Ad Masai. We want Mashiach now. Yashikach to all the presenters and all the Arganim and all the Minatzchim. We should be Minatzeach. Muhammad's Beis David. Kipshute Mamish. Gula Mitzvah Shlema.
So we want to make a quick note regarding Rabbi Muchnick. Rabbi Muchnick mentioned the story of saying Mashiach now before. I've applied this. It is effective.